Once upon a time, Europe was the engine of the world. It shaped the modern era. Science, philosophy, industry, empire. The continent wasn't just leading the race, it was the race. But now it's a shadow of its former self. What happened? Let's rewind. After the Black Death wiped out half the population, Europe bounced back hard. From the 15th century onward, it was a non-stop explosion of innovation. Science, philosophy, economic theory, Europe was the birthplace of it all. But why? What made this place so unique? Some say it was the Crusades, Europeans stealing Middle Eastern knowledge and making it their own. Others credit Christianity with its moral framework and intellectual rigor. And then there's the theory that Europe's real edge came from internal power struggles, the constant competition between the church, nobility, kings and merchants. Unlike other civilizations that got comfortable, Europe never stopped fighting, internally or externally wide. That made them dangerous. And when Europe got its act together, well, the rest of the world never stood a chance. But every empire eventually falls. And Europe? Europe didn't just fall, it self-destructed. The world wars were basically Europe turning its imperial machine against itself. The British and French feared the Germans. The Germans feared the Russians. So they all did what they do best: fight. The result? Absolute devastation. Look at German art before and after World War I. The change is painfully obvious. Before, order, discipline, grandeur. After, chaos, nihilism, destruction. It wasn't just buildings that were bombed into oblivion. It was Europe's spirit, and just when things couldn't get worse. Nazism, communism, and total occupation. The once dominant European empires reduced to chess pieces in a global game played by the new superpowers, America and the Soviet Union. Ironically, both are spin-offs of European civilization, but with more muscle. After World War II, Europe had two choices: rebuild or fade away. What did it choose? Bureaucracy, overregulation, and self-hatred. The continent that once conquered the world now can't even control its own borders. Nihilism took root. No belief in anything, no unifying culture, just stagnation and decline. Big artists. They don't stay in Europe. They come to America, where the real money is. And innovation. Once the continent of Da Vinci, Newton and Beethoven. Now drowning in red tape and runaway inflation. The only thing keeping Europe afloat is nostalgia. And nostalgia doesn't build the future. But before we get too smug, let's be real. Europe's decline isn't unique. It's kindred civilizations. America, Latin America, Russia. They're all heading down the same road. The same problems: debt, division, corruption, stagnation. Europe just got there first. Is this the end of an era? Or just the messy birth of something new? I look at Europe today with pity. It's a museum of past greatness, a civilization that once conquered the world, now barely holding itself together. Can it recover? Maybe. But when I look at the rest of the Western world, I wonder, are we all just following in its footsteps? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is Europe dead? Or can it rise again? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into history, culture, and the future of civilization.